Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
Good morning, and are we live? Yeah. Welcome.
Oh, thank you,
This has been quite a week. I don't know for the rest of you how much has been happening, but we found out that Ms. Corky needs to have surgery on her eye. That, as you all remember, she kind of did a face plant and had a puffed up eye for my birthday party.
Just special.
Yeah, just special for me, yeah. And what's happened is they found out she did break a little bone in her occipital, the orb, what's it called?
A socket?
Yeah, and so they're going to, the whole floor.
If I don't get it fixed, my eye will sink down into.
Yeah, for those of you who can't hear her, she's saying yes, they have to go in and put wire in there so that her eyeball doesn't start sinking, which I thought was really interesting. I didn't know we had places that were being held up by little floors in our body, so now we know.
Everything starts to sink.
I thought that was gravity.
But your eyeball, it's supposed to know where it is, you know. But anyway, so we won't be here next week. Jan is going to be taking over and doing the service, and my granddaughter's getting married in down in Fallbrook, and so we're going to be down there for the wedding. And it's one of those things that we do things differently in my family, mainly because everyone thinks differently, and we all support that. We all are very much into, you do it your way. And she decided to get married in City Hall, and you can only have 9 people. So it was her very, very immediate family. And so then she's going to have a reception, and there's 180 people coming to the reception. So you can. So that's going to be very exciting, and we're so glad that we're going to be there for the reception.
Is she going to wear a wedding gown?
What?
Is she going to wear her wedding gown?
I have no idea what she's going to be doing. I'm sure she is going to be wearing her wedding gown because she was saying her colors are green, sage, and cream.
Nice.
Doesn't that sound pretty? Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, she has green eyes, and so that's going to be beautiful young lady. So.
And Reverend Doti, I heard about it at a wedding that I officiated yesterday. I heard about you officiating.
Oh, really?
Next week, yes. They said, well, Reverend Doti's going to.
Yeah, we're going to be the wedding, yeah. So, excitement all around. Isn't that great?
That's great.
Yeah, and you never know when somebody's going to be talking about you. You know, you hear somebody will say, and you know Janet Charles. I'll say, oh, I know Janet Charles. You do? Oh, I know. It's the spiritualist community's fairly small when you look at the big picture, and so it's always interesting to who meets whom. Our wonderful April needs prayer. She's in the hospital, and they're doing some work to see what's going on. As you noticed, she was carrying oxygen, and she was having some problems breathing, and they're just doing some tests to find out, and she'll let us know when they've completed their test what's going on with her. There was another person that we wanted to put prayers out for her. Oh, we already did Corky, but there was a third. Anybody have some?
Karen Howie.
Karen Howie.
Yes.
Yes. She had her surgery, and then she had to go back into the hospital because there's some infection. So if you don't know Reverend Karen Howie, she is a wonderful woman who does beautiful paintings, and did a whole book on her guardian angels and these gorgeous angelic paintings that she did. And she is remarkable. And we don't see much of her because she lives up north, kind of like our Reverend Chen Lee. You know, and our minister, Scout Bartlett, who's speaking of Scout, he's going to be talking this Tuesday. And he's going to be speaking at UCM. And this is on Zoom.
But for you see him.
And I know I have the title of it. If I turn over, if you also picked up a program, and It's manifestation, permission to assert your magnetism.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. And so if you haven't heard a scout speak, please tune in, zoom in, and let's see him. He's an excellent
You must
speaker.
register.
And you have to register. All of the information is on the back of your program.
Well, go to u-c-m.org.
And Corky's going to tell us anyway. u-c-m.org
to register events.
And that's for you on Zoom. Be sure you write that down and sign up to watch Scout. It's going to be interesting and exciting. And Scout and I were on the radio together, not together. He had a radio program and I had a radio program. But we would tease each other in between during that period of your changing, from one speaker to another. And for those of you who didn't listen to the radio when I was on, Corky would go with me, and then we'd just have so much fun. I'd say, Corky, there's too many balloons in here. Of course, we're sitting in a little teeny room. And she'd say, oh, I know, I can't see you. There's too many balloons. And afterwards, people would say, where did you get all the balloons? And out of my mind. But we were always imagining this room full of, different things. And Scout would come on after me, and he'd just be cracking up. And then he'd start his show. Well, they left a few balloons here. I got to clear them. So it was great doing that type of thing together. So I've known Scout longer than I've known Corky, and as you know, I've known her for over 40 years. So it's great. Keep those friends. I think I want to talk a little bit about that because I hear people saying, "Oh, I used to have lots of friends, but I don't know what happened." Well, what happened is you stopped getting in contact with them. If you haven't heard from a friend for a month, call them. Find out what's happening. Don't wait for them to call. Joan is absolutely the master at this. She contacts people that I didn't even know she knew. And then she'll say, oh, Cheryl, I talked to Cheryl. Or, she just talked to these people. And it's so wonderful to have someone who does that, who goes out of their way. I talk to quite a few people. But please, if you're feeling lonesome, don't blame anybody else but yourself. There are people who would love to hear from you. I'm on Facebook. I'm in touch with people I went to high school with. I graduated from high school in 1956, and I'm talking to people I went to high school with. And it's fun. Imagine all the things we remember that were going on when we were at that age and living in a little dusty desert town. So think about that. Who have you not heard from? Call them. Don't wait for them to call you. Right now, this is a CCL platform today because when I look at Lauren, who is just back from Greece, and I look at Joan, who's just back from an Alaskan cruise, you are out there being the voices of spirituality. The people you touch, the people you talk to. When you leave, they say, what a wonderful person. I'm so glad I met her. So think of that every time you meet somebody new. Make sure that you're the positive symbol of what it's like to love everybody, to be accepted, and to care for people. And I want to start out with a very short prayer. But before I do, anybody have a birthday this week?
Actually, do.
Yay! Everybody has a birthday. Somebody has a birthday. And now,
Go on up.
Get your beads.
get your beads. Come on up.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have you.
That was on Sunday.
Is there a box right there of beads?
Yeah, there's a box.
There
Eddie,
it is.
come on.
That's a bag.
Eddie had a birthday.
Who did?
Oh,
Eddie.
my birthday.
Eddie.
Yay!
Yay. Thank you.
Come on up.
Okay,
We
so
had two birthdays.
Two birthdays.
Wow.
These are kukui nuts from our Hawaiian party. You're taking purple. Oh, that's great. And what color do you want?
I'll take the kukui nuts.
No, you won't.
Oh, I thought you said they were there. Oh, okay.
Well, wait a minute.
So you're a Virgo.
Yeah, I sure am.
You know,
Love
I looked
Virgos.
at your shirt and I think you deserve the cuckooing nuts.
Wow, okay.
There
Thank
you go.
Thank
Look
you.
at that. That is wonderful. You know, that, looking good. Yeah.
Thanks. Except for my ankle, though. I put in for some healing today. I rolled it during the day after my birthday
Oh,
on a
no.
barbecue. I fell off my deck.
Don't go away. We've got to sing to you.
Oh, yes.
Okay, all right. Now, here we have Brianna and then we have Eddie. And are you ready to start us?
Yes.
Okay.
This is your birthday song.
Thank you so much, Brianna. Thank you so much, Eddie. And receive the love today. Don't just ignore people. Receive the love. That is wonderful.
That's beautiful.
And so I'd like you to just take a moment and put your feet flat on the floor. And take a nice deep breath. And close your eyes. Mother, Father, God, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for always being there, not only in the time of need, but in our time of joy. Thank you for letting us know that the sun will shine again tomorrow, and there's going to be beautiful days ahead. We thank you for being with us during the times when we are going in for surgery, or have twisted our ankle, or have things that have befallen us that at the time seem so horrendous. But we realize when we look back on them, they were just a little blip in this life. Thank you for being there when we need to complain, when we need to have solace in difficult times. Creator, whatever form these people choose to see you, it is absolutely perfect. Because you are all around, you are all present, you are all knowing, and you are all loving. So let's take another deep breath. Bring in that energy, and when you're ready, release love throughout the world. Whew. One more time. Take a nice deep breath and release love. Let's do it a third time. Breathe in God's essence and release love all around the world. And for you, those of you on Zoom, keep releasing the love. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, welcome. It's been quite the week. A lot of people have gone through difficulty with health. A lot of people have been going through difficulty in relationships. So when they call and they say, I'm having this problem, think about you, all of you who are ministers. This is a time to listen. Some of the best counseling I've received is somebody just listening when I'm in a time of need. So as a minister, that's what you do. You listen, and when you feel that you can give a very comfortable, soft, loving response, do that. Anytime someone calls in need, they need a soft, loving response. Anybody have any miracles this last week that they want to share?
I got it this morning. Yay!
Yeah. You got up and you didn't fall down.
That was a plan. And it worked.
It worked, okay. Well, just think of that. What are the things that you can do that make you feel better about yourself and about life? Okay. Or we would like for you to start inviting people to come to church. What's happened is we had that huge rush of the ministerial group, everything that was going on, and then all of a sudden everybody just kind of went, and decided, I can't make it this Sunday. I'm just going to sit at home. You'll find that the weeks that you don't go in to any church, I don't care, the church, temple, synagogue, If you're not doing something to participate, sometimes your energy gets low. So think of attending a spiritualist or Christian or Jewish or whatever your background. Find a place that you can make sure you get that feeling of joy, that feeling of love, that feeling of you are perfect, wherever you get that. And some of you might just get it going to the spa. Think about that, and sometimes that's a church. That's a place where you feel appreciated and loved, and you go away feeling better. Wherever your place is where you get energy, do it. Don't sit at home and think, I don't know what I want to do. Get up and find a place to go. But I've got to tell you something I did yesterday, because I didn't get up, but I watched that tennis match. Anybody else watch it?
Yes.
Whoa. Coco won, and she's 19 years old. She's a young black woman who is, we haven't seen this since Serena Williams, and she beat the champion of the world. The woman I can't remember her name now, the woman she played against
Was her first name?
is Bundy, going to be declared #1 in the world. And Coco beat her yesterday. And it was...
But she's still #1.
What?
She's still #1.
Yeah, she's still #1 because that's what she was declared as first in the world. But Coco came up from 6th to 3rd now, and they gave her a check for $3 million when she won this, and it was amazing. If any of you have a chance, if you're interested in tennis at all, watch that match.
Was it U.S. Open?
U.S. Open tennis match.
In New York?
In Flushing Meadows. And it's in the Billie Jean King pavilion, or stadium. I think it's a stadium because there's more than one. And Billie Jean King was there, and as they handed her the check, Coco said, that's because Billie Jean went out.
50th anniversary of Billie Jean, of that.
Yeah, 50th anniversary of Billie Jean
making it
declaring women need to be paid the same in tennis as men were.
Yeah.
And they did. And so that's when they gave her the check, and Billie Jean King handed her the trophy. It was very, you look around for something that's going to make you feel good. This was really inspiring and really felt good. Anybody here play tennis when they were? Yeah, I taught tennis in college. Corky played tennis.
First doubles in high school.
Yeah, there's something exciting about that because you're out and you're moving around, and you're in the sunshine. Good sport. Well, today's we're going to be hearing from a good sport. How do you like that? Our wonderful Reverend Joan Stutes has been traveling.
Meditation.
You will do the meditation. I'm getting people excited, okay? Because the one thing about Joan, when she's talking today, I want you to think of what can you do in your life that's as inspiring as taking a cruise, getting up, and going out. Okay? There's so many different things that you can actually do. And so you don't have to sit home and watch tennis. Go out and watch it in real life, okay? And Jen, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yay!
Reverend Janet Childs, we'd like you to, let's just get everybody kind of centered. I've taken everybody out to think about tennis. We've talked about Mother, Father, God. And right now what we're going to talk about is how it feels to center yourself. And so you close your eyes. And you're going to drop a cord. Just feel a cord coming through your body and dropping down. Down into the floor. Down into the foundation of the building. Down into the planet. And this cord is your connection to the planetary energy. And now think of yourself raising up this wonderful balloon. And this is a bright purple balloon. And it's carrying that cord not only from the deepest part of the earth, but through your body and up into the sky. And this beautiful purple balloon of love is going all the way up to source. Think of yourself as a wonderful human being, B-E-A-N, on that cord, or a spiritual being on that cord, connecting you. Your feet are on the planet, and your spirit is with Source. And see your energy. Your energy can be pink, blue, green, yellow. But visualize that energy now on that beam. The beam going all the way down to the center of the earth. And then bringing all of Earth's energy up through you. All the way up through your head. All the way going up, up, up to Source. Following that purple balloon as high as you can imagine. Until you can feel completely at peace. Take a nice deep breath and listen to our wonderful Dr. Janet Stutes.
What power of my light. So we are grounded, grounded, grounded in the light. We are whole and complete in this moment. We are grounded, grounded in this light. And we hold each other in the loving arms of compassion. Compassion flows through us, and we know we are whole.
And when you're ready, just come back to the room. Thank you, Janet. That was incredible. Thank you so much. She never has any idea what I'm going to say, and she makes a song out of it when she hears it. That is amazing. Well, Joan, did you get a chance to relax and take a nice deep breath?
Oh, sure.
Okay, come on up. And as we know, Reverend Joan has not only traveled all over since we talked to her, and she's looking pretty today. She's going to the opera. Yeah, so yay! And so that's wonderful.
You never know what turns life will take. I didn't anticipate opera in my future until I met Jeannie. So thank you, Jeannie, for this wonderful adventure. My topic today is traveling in the fifth dimension. And I want to talk to you about how to be there. And then I want to talk about being there and then moving forward. So it's, I always do kind of 3 parts, and this is no exception. So first of all, what's the fifth dimension, and how do I get there?
Wait just a minute, and I'll give you the clock, and you can see what today's dimension is. Okay, there you go. And you get to tap it all the way up to there. Okay.
Okay, thank you. It's always good to know your limits, right? and you know what? She's never shy about telling us. So when I heard about this book, The Fifth Dimension, I thought, what in the world is she talking about? So after reading it and studying it a little bit, I ascertained that what she's talking about is staying within your spiritual space. Staying within your spiritual space. Now, how do we do that? There's 2 ways that I stay in my spiritual space. One is that I control my thoughts. I think in terms of goodness. I think in terms of a good future. I think of good things happening. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, you know that I regularly post that good things are happening, because I find good things happening all day, every day. Flowers, birds, people, events, new things happening. So this concentration on the good and eliminating the worry. Now, have I done things I regret? Have any of you done things you regret?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I can take a walk and I can be bombarded with regrets. How about you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's easy to let those seep in. Regrets. I wish I hadn't, or I wish I had. It's easy to be angry. I wish I hadn't been angry, or I'm now angry about this or that. But so part of it is just thinking in terms of the goodness of life. So that's the thought part of it. The second part in this book and other spiritual books is helping your body be healthy so that your body can enjoy life. And there's all kinds of recommendations in that book, down to getting a shower head that takes the chlorine out of the water. Have you heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's one of many recommendations. But as you know, alcohol, tobacco, deter and lead you away from spiritual studies, and in my opinion, although I've had alcoholic drinks and had brilliant insights. Sugar does not enhance your body. There's a lot of controversy about wheat and gluten. So how can I help my body feel good and be active in this world? How can I stay in this fifth dimension with my mind being clear and grateful and my body being active? As you know, I had hip replacement in December. Now, I was recommended to have hip replacement in 2012, 10 years ago, before I had it. I was crazy. I limped around for 10 years. Why did I do that? I don't know why I did that. Do I regret it? Well, I could spend all day regretting it, but there's no point in that. What I know is that now I'm more physically active and my body is more vibrant. And so I'm enjoying life. In this time of revolution, and I want to just emphasize that we are actually in a time of revolution. It's not like this state against this state with guns, at least not yet, like we had in the Civil War. But we are in a time of revolution, not only in America, but there's a whole movement about changing the way governments operate and what governments do and who's in charge. Is this going to end anytime soon? No. We probably have at least 5 years, maybe 20 years, as this process unfolds and takes place. From an astrological point of view, it's not into the fullness of it yet. The fullness will come, and then once the fullness comes, there's going to be fallout. We are in a revolutionary period of time. How do we navigate that? That's why I'm encouraging you to think about this fifth dimension idea of staying in your spiritual, good things happening mindset and of improving your body. I know that when I get depressed, what do you do when you get depressed?
Bad things. You drink, you smoke,
I eat ice cream. Did any of you eat ice cream?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely tough to
It's
lose.
dairy-free ice cream, but I still eat it.
Oh, yeah.
It's got loads of sugar in it.
When you get, and it's easy to get depressed.
Oh, yeah.
It's very easy to get depressed and a little bit into overwhelm. So the more that we can stay in this fifth dimension of good things happening and spirit unfolds as it's supposed to, I have a firm belief and an absolute conviction that spirit, universal connection, whatever it is unfolding the world in an appropriate way. And because of that, I can relax and let it do the work. I don't have to do anything. What I have to do is stay centered and stay in my fifth dimension spot of taking care of my thoughts and taking care of my body, so that I don't have to end up in a nursing home, breathing and panting. None of us want to end up there. It's not a good place. So how do we do this? It's a day-by-day process. Okay, take a deep breath. So, fifth dimension. In that magical fifth dimension, magical things will begin happening with you and to you. And I've had such magical things happen this summer. I was able to go to London and Paris with my grandson, my daughter, and I went to London, and then we went on the Channel, which I'd always wanted to do, and spent 8 days in Paris. And Paris is always magical. The sun was shining. It was not hot. We were not in a heat wave. There were no demonstrations. It was peaceful. And we got to go easily in all the places that we wanted to go, because you see, by staying in this fifth dimension of good things happening, it unfolds. These things unfold, especially as you travel. I want to emphasize the importance of spiritual community, because as we are in a spiritual community, we support each other. Now, you've heard about my trips, and I belong to several networking groups, and they've all heard about my trips. Oh, Joan, you're such an inspiration. How did you do it? I mean, like I'm old and feeble, and therefore I shouldn't be going to Paris. But I surprised them all, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, woo!
Yay!
And so as you live in this fifth dimension and have these experiences and share them in your community, not only in your spiritual community, but out in the world, then you're spreading the good news. On the cruise, it was just miraculous. The week before, the temperature had never gotten above 60. It was raining, cold, foggy, socked in. They did not have a good time. It was not beautiful. But we had sunshine. We had beautiful, clear days, just magical. And it was just lovely. And at one point, I was sitting on the deck by the swimming pool, and they announced that it was 70 that day. The week before, it had never gotten above 60. Can you imagine? And I'd talk to people on the cruise, and I'd say, "We're sure having good weather." And he said, "Oh yeah, isn't it wonderful?" And I said, "Yes, I always have good weather when I travel." And I do. I made that proclamation years and years ago. And one time I was on a 19-day cruise, and the cruise ships before us and behind us did not get into the ports. We got into every single port, and everyone was marveling at that. I said, "Well, of course. I always have good weather wherever I am." In Paris, they had heat waves and demonstrations the week before and the week after, or a little bit before and a little bit after. But when we were there, it was beautiful, moderate temperature, and no protests. Yay!
Yay!
You see, we support each other in these endeavors, and as we share, we become aware of what's possible. I have a neighbor who plans a trip and says, "I hope it doesn't rain. I hope we don't get I hope the airplane isn't late. I hope. It's all driven by fear." What kind of a trip do you think she has? Every time she comes back, oh my gosh, she has this crisis and that crisis. You don't need crises, folks. You just don't need crises. And being a part of a spiritual community supports your belief and opens the doors to new beliefs about the possibility of continuously having good things happening. Yes, so keep going. Let's see. I want to ask you to share, just take some time to share some of the things that you've realized and understood anew this summer. One of the things that I think is so important is one of the things that Tim talked about. Regular contributions to your spiritual community are so important. I talk about it in terms of regular contributions brings regular wealth. But Tim talked about it as being a necessity, just like PG&E is a necessity. And I think we need to look at our spiritual community as a necessity in our life and support it from that same point of view. Honestly, all the years I've been involved in New Thought, I have never heard that idea. But Tim brought it up, and I totally agree with that as being a way of supporting your spiritual community, cementing your allegiance to it, and being able to come in and share freely about your experiences and expand your knowledge and your understanding of what spirituality means. It doesn't mean sitting in a corner and meditating 5 days a week.
You have to participate.
Yeah, you have to participate. You have to participate with other people, and you have to explore. I keep reading books and learning new things. I'm currently reading a book called Build a New Body. Build a New Body. And it's all about what you eat, how you exercise, as well as the spiritual exercises. So what have you learned this summer? We're closing out the summer and we're going forward into a fall, a new season. What have you learned that you'd like to share?
It's okay to relax.
It's okay to relax. That's huge. And take naps.
And allow yourself to be supported.
Yeah.
By your community.
Yeah. It's okay.
Wow.
It's okay. So who else has an idea? A new thought you had this summer. Yes.
I learned what it's like to break a bone.
Well, Sherry.
Sherry learned what it's like to break a bone, but your bone is healing, is that correct?
Yeah. I learned so much about myself by breaking my wrist.
Uh-huh.
And being forced to use my left hand, and just little things that you wouldn't think would come up, like I can't open the cap on a soda bottle. Can't do it. Don't have the strength to twist that damn thing off.
Uh-huh. So for those of you who maybe
I know.
can't hear, she's saying that she learned how to twist the cap off of a can of soda. Okay, who else learned something new this summer? Yes.
I lost a friend this summer. Well, I lost like 2 really close friends. And one thing I learned was if somebody's talking crap about everybody, guess what? They're talking crap about you behind your back too. You are not immune.
I learned the same thing.
So I got rid of one, and I told her, and she was dogging on my husband, and I'm like, now you're dogging on my, you so-and-so told me you did this, this, and this, now you're dogging on my husband, you brought him into this? And I said, I can no longer be friends with you. That was it.
So you didn't lose your friends to go to heaven, you lost your friend, you chose to lose your friends.
I chose to lose her, but then I reconnected with another friend, and she got mad at me, and I was joking with her about something, and she fell kind of into the same lines as the first one. She dumped me as a friend.
Ah.
And so the first lesson was, if somebody's gossiping about everybody else, they're doing it about you too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So you were the dumper, and the
the dumper and the dumpy.
Uh-huh.
And so then the other thing was is that people who chronically complain about things, if you think you are going to be a sounding board for that person all the time, that brings chaos into your life.
Uh-huh.
And you are expending your energy, your precious energy on that person's chaos in their life.
Okay, so choosing friends, it's a huge talent to choose friends. And one of the commitments I made is to send out birthday cards to 100 people. So I'm calling people and asking them for their birthday. And it's interesting the reaction I get, and I'm only up to 41, and so there's room for you all on it. But it's an interesting experience to approach it that way. But yes, that's why spiritual community is so important. We are here to share good things happening. Okay, who was there? Yes?
So I learned a couple of things I learned over the summer, like Christine had learned, if people are talking bad about everything, if they talk poorly about others, even spiritual communities, they're doing it to you. I also learned that when someone says, for an example, someone says, do you need a ride to church? And I say yes, and someone says, if I'll take you anywhere you need to go. If I feel like someone is trying to smother me, if someone is trying to smother me, they're trying to save me from the world, and that's not good. So when someone says, I'll do anything for you, I'll take you to church, I learned to say something like, I appreciate the offer, but I'm capable of getting around by myself.
Good for you.
And then
Independence is so important and something I've learned this last year.
And then I also learned why it is important to forgive someone. People had been saying that all my life, but I just didn't get it until I went through something over the summer. I learned that if I don't forgive people for myself, I'm going to be angry. And that was a hard lesson to learn this summer, and I'm glad I learned it.
Good for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know, forgiving is a process, as giving thanks for that opportunity to forgive and to move on and to look at the value part and to feel perfectly free to be the dumper and to be dumped and move on.
But I'm okay with being dumped.
I know you are. That's great. Yeah.
I learned how important it was to meditate in the morning, more or less at the same time, for about the same amount of time. It really sets my day, the plan. You know, it's just, my day is so much better than when I say, oh, I don't have time and I can't do it. And
So, Chris, right? Christine is sharing that she has developed a habit of meditating in the morning every day at the same time for approximately the same amount of time. And this is an accepted and spiritual practice that is embraced throughout the world.
Well documented. Yeah.
Well documented. The benefits are well documented. But sometimes we forget, and I forget. Christine, thank you so much for reminding me, because I get busy and think, oh well, I can talk to God all day. I don't have to do this sitting still thing. I'm an Aries. I'm no good at sitting still. I don't have to do that. But thank you for reminding us. Okay, anybody else real quick? Eddie.
Yeah, I just reminded how spiritual abundance is just right there for you as like a couple of moments
I was looking in a box for something, and I thought, oh, I dropped a quarter in that box some time ago. Oh, right, quarter, right? I looked a closer look at it and go, what the heck is that? There were angels printed on both sides of this coin with its hand up like it was saying hi to me, you know? And I showed it to my girlfriend. She goes, wow, where'd that come from? I said, I have no idea. Yeah, I've never seen it before. And I had it for a couple of hours, put it down, and it's gone now. But it was just a reminder that angels are always trying to communicate with you in one way or another, whether it's like repeating numbers or something's going to show up more directly. And, you know, I rolled my ankle when I was having a barbecue accident. I fell off my deck, and I thought I broke it. I mean, I rolled it badly, but I didn't. I mean, it was just badly twisted. And I was able to put pressure on it right away, as my girlfriend was helping me back into the house. And so I did an invocation, and then sometimes I had this sporadic sight. And I saw these little blue, like pixie-sized beings of blue energy all around my ankle, and they were going in and out of my ankle, and I think they were trying to heal that. And then I saw them going throughout my whole body and up here and everything. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. You know, I called my angels, I called the higher beings of light, and they're coming in to speed along the healing for me.
So Eddie is sharing that he thought he found a quarter, but instead he found a medallion with angels on both sides. Yeah. And then he fell off the deck, and the angels came and
or little pixie-sized beings.
Pixie beings came, little blue pixies came and worked on his ankle. Now you see, that makes it possible by him sharing. Do you understand that we all have the possibility of having little pixies heal us?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't even know if that's what they were.
I don't care what they were.
They were obviously going in and out of my hurt ankle, and they were trying to do some speed along some healing. And I think it would have been a lot worse because of the way I felt.
And he's feeling minimally injured. So I want to thank you today for playing with me and for sharing your experiences, because that's the importance of spiritual community. It makes it possible for us to expand our own spiritual experiences. We now know we can be dump or be okay. We now know that we can meditate in the morning at a regular time and expand our awareness. And we now know that we can let go of people and be okay. And we can even have little blue pixie things healing us. So that's part of the spiritual community. I invite you to go ahead today, go forth today, this week, this season, with the idea of expanding your spiritual community and your spiritual experiences.
And don't go away. Okay.
Thank you.
What I'd like for you to do is announce that we're going to pass the basket.
Oh, we're going to pass the basket. Did you know that?
You're going to lead people in this right here.
No, I'm not. Somebody's
Okay,
going to.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Janet is going to help us with that.
And
Blessing.
And Joan and Dottie.
Yes.
From the remote spheres from Eileen, this summer I realized that I am an amazing light being, deserving of receiving all the abundance and joys of the universe.
Yeah. Yay! Okay. And thank you, Eileen, for sharing from afar.
I have something I want to say. I'll probably start crying. My mom passed away. Oh. And you were the only person who would check on me to make sure it was okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you.
My heart goes to you. You know, when I check on people, I text Dottie and say, oh, I talked to Christine, I talked to Cheryl, just so she can also reach out if she wants to. So that's kind of one of the things I do. Take a deep breath. Thank you for sharing, Christine. And I love you so much. You've been. Haven't you watched her just grow into this amazing person during this? Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I've just loved it. Okay,
Giving
Janet.
to the ministry, from which we receive our spiritual support and nurturing, is an affirmation and consciousness of the truth that Spirit is the prospering power, enriching every area of my life. And so it is. So it is.
Okay, and so we're going to pass the basket. If you have some dollars, put it in. If not, put some energy in. And then I'm going to just commandeer the final prayer here.
Right, that's what I was going to have you do because you were doing so well.
Thank you all for being here today. You know, one of the things I didn't mention is that I go to a men's group,
He let you in?
a meetup that's almost all young men. And I don't know how I got invited, but I did. And I go and do past life and card readings and different things. But you know, men need our special love in these difficult days. They're going through a transition about who they are and what their function is, what their job is. So even though this thing, I have to drive at least 30 minutes, it's early, I have to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's a bunch of guys in a golf club. But I go because there's fellows there, and I don't get a chance to talk to fellows that have had no introduction to the spiritual world. So this is a way to do that. So that's one of the things I do. All right. Let's just take a deep breath and rejoice in this day. This blessed day of new beginnings in a new season with new adventures as we go forward in our fifth dimension path of walking with Spirit, of pushing aside the ugliness of life, of looking for good things happening, of taking care of our body. Let's go forward celebrating this fifth dimension idea of moving forward and creating good things happening all around. Blue skies when it's appropriate, rain when it's appropriate, and good friends reaching out to people. Are you going to start your birthday card list? Are you going to start your keeping in touch with people? What is your step forward? I challenge you to take one step forward. Whether it's reaching out to a new friend, meditating every day, looking for blue angels, healing, whatever it is. Look for those things, because I promise you this. I absolutely promise you this. What you look for, finds you. What you look for, you will find. And what you seek, finds you as we go forward. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Joan. That was
Hey,
And who's on Zoom, Ed?
Let's see, Eileen C., Chen Lee, Donna and or Kevin and or both, Evers, Jan Ewers, Laura, Patty and Joyce, and Sky. I was just waiting for I Love You, Mama Boon. We missed that last Sunday, didn't we?
Well, Sky was visiting my son.
There you have it.
There you have it. She was in Southern California and saw she and her partner got a chance to see my son and his partner, and so Great. It was wonderful pictures. I want to thank you all very much. We're lucky enough that a dear friend of ours, Kendall, made puppets of Corky and I, and this morning we didn't bring them, but we will be bringing them in a couple of weeks so you can see our likenesses. If any of you are puppeteers, it's a type of puppet you can make. It's a Sesame Street type puppet, and they're wonderful. And so we want to share that with. And thank Kendall for making those of us. It was
We were going to bring
really.
it today, but they said no.
They said no. The puppets scare me at night. I come walking into the living room and there they're sitting like, we're under invasion by some group here. But I'm getting friendly with them now. But thank you so very much. Yes, Christine.
Yeah, I'm going to be visiting Patty Ray.
Oh, visiting who?
Patty Ray.
Patty Ray.
Anybody wants to say hi to her?
Oh, that would be wonderful.
You said our
Thank you.
regards.
I don't know if I
Is she at
can offer
home?
this, but anybody interested in this Walgreens severe cold and flu?
No, I don't know. Anybody interested? Well, see Christine. Okay, well, why don't we give you some beads to take to Patty from CCL? How would that be? And so it gives us her a feeling of us, not just a hearing from you. Yes.
She's at a care center in Los Altos. It's on Fremont.
Yeah, because every time we call, her phone says that we're not.
Well, actually, it was surprising because I called yesterday and she answered. Apparently, she's in like a 4-bedroom.
Okay, we'll try her phone again then.
Yeah, we will. Okay, thank you so very much. Coffee, and if you want to stay around, I know that our wonderful speaker has to dash, and probably take Jeannie with her for the opera.
No, I go next Sunday.
Oh, you go next Sunday, okay. And please spend some time to say howdy to the person next to you. It's a good time to get to know new people. Thank you very much for coming, and we will not be here next week. I'll be doing the wonderful wedding of my granddaughter, but our great Reverend Dr. Jan will be here.
I need all of your help.
Be here to
Yay!
support.
Yes, come support her. Yes, and hello Ruth, you had your hand up.
Oh no, I'm just going, yes, I'll be here.
Okay, she's cheering, yay, okay. Thank you so very much. Thank you to the speaker, Ed. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Ed.
Ed.
Yay! Grab a cup of coffee and the person next to you. Okay.
This is the last